You know what's strange? Everyone obsesses over boomers blaming the world for everything, millennials chasing endless validation on social media, and Gen Z rewriting all the rules with their viral manifestos. But there's this forgotten generation right in the middle, Gen X, born between 1965 and 1980, who just quietly hold everything together without making a sound. They were the first massive wave of Latchkey Kids, coming home at 3:12 p.m. to an empty house with nothing but a house key dangling around their neck. Here's what nobody tells you. That silence, that solitude, shaped a psychology that's more powerful and resilient than anyone admits. Picture it vividly. You're 8 years old, the school bus drops you off, and you walk up to your front door. The key feels heavy in your small hand as it clicks into the lock. Door shuts behind you, click, and suddenly it's just you. The hum of the refrigerator buzzes like a distant companion. Yesterday's dinner lingers faintly in the air, a mix of canned soup and overcooked meatloaf. No one's home. Both parents are out there working double shifts to keep the lights on. This wasn't rare, it was the norm. By 1984, a study in the American Journal of Orthopsychiatry found 7 million kids ages 5 to 13 were regularly unsupervised after school. Divorce rates skyrocketed from 2.7 to 5.2 per 1,000 people through the 70s and 80s. Working moms jumped from 37% to 60%, leaving dual-income homes stretched thin. No smartphones for a quick "I'm home" text, no Ring cameras watching your every move. You make a peanut butter sandwich with slightly stale bread, sit at the kitchen table alone, and tackle homework under the harsh fluorescent light. Mistakes? No grace period. Spill the milk? Clean it up now or face the mess and the consequences later. That high-contingency world, where actions linked straight to outcomes without any buffer, wired their brains for real-time prediction. Spill something and it stayed spilled until you fixed it. No helicopter parents swooping in. Why does that matter today? It built a quiet competence that doesn't need applause or likes. It turned solitude into strength. Pattern 1. They seem distant, like they don't need anyone, but it's not coldness. It's a wall built brick by brick from those empty houses. What shaped it? Those latchkey afternoons, clock ticking louder than your thoughts, taught self-reliance before they could even tie their shoes properly. Alone from 3 p.m. until dinner, you learn to soothe your own boredom, solve your own small crises like when the TV wouldn't turn on, and you fiddled with the rabbit ears antenna until static turned to picture. No one praised you for it, you just did it. Today, you see it everywhere. Crisis hits at work, and they're the ones calmly mapping out fixes while others panic. Not because they're tough by nature, but because they've handled empty rooms since age 8, figuring out what breaks and how to patch it without calling for help. Ever watch one tackle a flat tire at midnight? Pause without calling AAA? It's not showing off. It's muscle memory from a childhood where depending on others felt riskier than going solo. That wall keeps them steady, not isolated. Pattern 2. Forget grand speeches, therapy speak, or those 5 love languages everyone memes about. Gen X says "I love you" by handing you a tool and showing you how to use it side by side in the garage. Rooted deep in parents who laid down rules without endless discussions, just swift, clear outcomes every single time. Step out of line after school? You knew the consequence before the door fully closed. No timeouts or feeling circles. Actions spoke and they echoed. In modern life, this shines brightest at work. They don't post achievements on LinkedIn or brag in meetings. They deliver results that speak louder. Ever notice how they skip the pointless status update but show up with the project fixed anyway? It's not arrogance. It's efficiency born from paper routes at dawn, where you calculated change in your head when the register jammed. A study from the Center for Generational Kinetics highlights their goal-oriented drive, turning obstacles into quiet wins without fanfare. In relationships, it's the partner who rebuilds your shelf instead of saying, I got you. Words are cheap. The fixed shelf lasts. How often do you measure care by what's done, not what's said? Pattern 3. That dry wit, the effortless eye roll at hype, it's not meanness or bitterness, it's a shield honed sharp under Cold War duck and cover drills. Teachers herded you under desks as if wood could stop fallout. Adults preaching don't worry about it while prepping bomb shelters in the backyard. Hold two clashing truths at once. Everything's fine, but it might all end tomorrow. That dissonance? You coped with a shrug and a joke. Researchers call it defensive pessimism, expecting the rug pull keeps real disappointment at bay, but to them, it's just realistic. Divorce waves, corporate layoffs racking up through the ADS, they saw promises shatter. Now, they laugh off corporate jargon, viral trends, or endless Zoom pep talks, staying pragmatic while others chase the next big thing. Yeah, that'll last, they mutter with a smirk. And it does because that humor bought time to assess real risks. Picture the family dinner. Instead of venting frustration, a quick one-liner diffuses it. It's survival armor from a world that yanked stability without warning. Doesn't it make overhyped optimism feel a little naive? Pattern 4. Titles mean nothing. Real skills earn respect that lasts. They watched boomers pour blind loyalty into companies, only to face 1980s restructuring, the dot-com bust hitting the oldest Gen X just as they started careers, and 2008 crashing down on everyone else. Youngest ones graduated into recessions that didn't care about degrees. So they mastered multiple income streams not for hustle culture glory, but because nothing lasts forever. Research in the Journal of Adult Development shows they seek less social support during stress, not from lack of friends, but because asking feels like defeat. They'd rather tinker in the garage until 2 a.m. Result? They're the ones you want in the room when layoffs loom irreplaceable because they control their value. Bagging groceries as teens, calculating tips mentally, delivering papers in snow they learned early. Competence is your shield. Loyalty to a logo? That got their parents pink slips. Today, it's why they quietly excel, no resume padding needed. Ever seen one outlast flashier types? It's not luck. Now, let's bring it home how these patterns play out today. At work, competence always trumps company loyalty. They stay indispensable through raw skill, drawing from those archaic jobs like 5 a.m. paper routes or fast food shifts where you made change by brainpower alone. Layoffs skip the versatile ones. In parenting, they flip latchkey scars into stealth fighter style, less hovering than millennials, more quiet guidance from afar, giving kids the space to build grit they never had. No constant tracking apps. Trust earns wings. Relationships? Needing space isn't rejection. It's recharge mode. Privacy feels like safety, not secrecy. Rooted in a pre-social media world where oversharing meant real vulnerability. They connect deeply but selectively, actions weaving stronger bonds than daily texts. As the ultimate bridge generation, they blend analog grit like fixing a bike chain with household tools with digital fluency, building the internet quietly without needing to flex about it. Future-proof skills. Mechanical intuition meets code. How does your own problem-solving stack up Google first or hands-on? They've got both. Here's the gentle reframe. You're not broken, cynical, or outdated. You're calibrated for a world that taught hard, unfiltered lessons early, turning uncertainty into quiet power. Me or them? Drop one word below now. If this resonated, showing those patterns you've lived or loved, subscribe to Psychology of Yore for more deep dives into how generations think differently. Next up, millennial patterns. Hit that join button to become a channel member and support these explorations. Your support keeps this going, and it means everything.